Sorare NBA continues to stay hot. In this video, we'll zoom in and take a look at new features that give you 2 new ways to upgrade your collection with free cards. Also, I hit the auction market and it was awesome. I am loaded up and ready to go for the limited competitions this week. Game weeks 5 through 7. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Eric, and this is Nifty Sports. Let's get straight into it this week. Everything is bookmarked below for your convenience. First, we'll start off recapping weeks 5 and 6, and then we'll talk strategy for week 7. But before we get started, I wanted to shout out the winner of last week's giveaway, Norman W. To enter this week's, comment in the comment section down below and let me know what's the best deal that you've gotten on auction. If you haven't done the auction market yet, just let me know that too, but you are missing out. As always, thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't signed up for Sorare NBA, remember this game is free to play. Get 20 commons to start your roster, including a guaranteed NBA superstar by using the link below. It helps me out and it's much appreciated. All right, let's zoom in. All right, we're going to jump straight into the new ways that you can get your hands on new upgraded cards for your common rosters. Both of these are dropped on Twitter. You got daily drops and you got card swaps. Let's just get into my collection and see what we got for the day. There's also some nice updates from the CEO of Sorare. I tweeted that out if you want to take a look at it. But here's where you'll find it. Card swap right up at the top and then daily drop. These cards I got on auction. We'll talk about those at the end of the video when we get ready for game week 7. But first, let's do this card swap real quick and see who I can get. Select a card to trade in. I'm going to go down to the very bottom and see who I want to trade in. Who's not doing too well for me? I'm going to trade in Robin Lopez. Then it gives me a couple of options. Ooh, there we go. Frank Kaminsky putting up a 17 spot over the past 10 games. Vince Williams Jr., I already got Udoka in there. We'll go with Frank. Why not? Wasn't a very good option. I probably should have kept some of the lower point guys in there just to kind of fill in the roster. But you know what? I probably don't plan on playing Frank that much anyway. So here's the daily drop. I'm going to claim my free card. Remember this one, I can do the next swap in 24 hours. Okay, you can do one of those per day. The daily drop, you get to do up to 14 of those. So I'm going to get my free card now. And 14 is the number that they gave you. Here we go. We got, ooh, this is a tough one. We got Jabari Smith Jr. or Julius Randle. I'm going to take the rookie on this one, going Jabari Smith Jr. Let's take a look here at game week 5, the common champions, the high scores of the week from 10 going up. Fred VanVleet, Lauri Markkanen, Kevin Durant, Drew Holiday, DeJounte Murray, Clint Capella, Paolo Banchero, Luka Doncic, DeMar DeRozan, and Jason Tatum. Let's take a look at the top lineups. Eurus 13, 288 points up in that thing. I came in 28,000th out of 82,000. So let's take a look at the top lineup and see who they had in there. Tatum, Drew, Melton, they had Capella, and then they also had Franz Wagner. So nice lineup there. Big time congrats to these guys. Trying to learn something from these lineups. See if we see any familiar names up at the top of this list. Second place, we had Tatum. We had Zubac, Kevin Love, throwback, man, Tobias Harris, and Clint Capella also. Clint Capella is definitely on the rise, back and fully healthy, it looks like. Roaring Fujin, there's Luka Doncic, DeMar DeRozan, Lauri Markkanen, Dylan Brooks, and Steven Adams in there with the 54 spot on the week. Man, nice plays from these guys right here. If any of you out there got anything big from game week 5, let me know down in the comments section. I pulled common tier 3s and common tier 4s, so nothing too great on that one. But my rewards for that week were Grant Williams and Royce O'Neal, 2 solid pieces. Royce O'Neal has been on fire for the Brooklyn Nets. So nice to have him in the lineup. Royce O'Neal and Grant Williams were the two prizes that I got for game week 5. Let's take a look at game week 6. It is officially done. I'm filming this after the last game finishes on Thursday night. This video is going to be released on Friday morning. So we're going to go to this live tab here, looking at game week 6. 202 is a pretty respectable, solid score, but there was a lot of high scores this week. So I'm going to be getting a common tier 4 for this one and a common tier 3 for that common contender. Brooke Lopez, Kyle Kuzma, Fred VanVleet, Devin Booker, Shea, Jimmy Butler, Michael Bridges, Miles Turner, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry were the top 10 scorers. Let's take a look at the top 3 lineups for this one. 79,000 played. I can't wait. After this, we're going to jump into looking at the auction market and the deals that I got on those limited moments and setting my lineup for next week's limited champion competition. That'll be the first time I'm playing in those limited. So I waited a little while, but got comfortable with where the market was at and decided to jump in there with those limiteds and get a couple of my favorite players. So we'll take a look at that in just a second. 320 points is absolutely insane. Steph Curry at 81. You got OG Jeremy Grant, Spencer Dinwiddie with a 58, and Brooke Lopez with a nice 63-pointer. Tebow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was the winner on that one. I believe that is someone that I saw up in the top last week. Maybe they're just on fire. A top DFS fantasy player, 315 points. They had Luka in there, KD, Brooke Lopez. That's Javon Carter again in there with the 61-pointer, and Jarrett Allen. BMP PSG in at 3. Lot of familiar faces in this one, man. Not of familiar faces up in the top 3. Steph Curry, obviously. Man, my champion did not play well. I had Giannis, the lowest scorer on my team, with a 38 piece. That's not what you want from your champion. Steph Curry in there at 81. Brooke Lopez, again, 63. Miles Turner, 6'9". Claxton at 40. And Jeremy Grant at 60. If you got up in that top upper echelon, congratulations. Let me know. Again, just drop comments. Let me know what you pull for rewards this week. I love seeing what you guys pull for those rewards. So let's move on and talk about game week 7. For game week 7, we are looking a little bit different. Here is a couple of the guys that I picked up off of auction this week to set my first ever limited lineup. I cannot wait. Jordan Poole was actually a manager sale. And then I got into the auctions and was just getting some better deals on stuff. I was able to pull in guys like Anthony Edwards for 26, Zach LaVine, 24, Paul George I got at 38, and then my boy Devin Booker at 44. I know Booker on the open market, on the manager sales market, was a $52 buy. Paul George was right around the same price. LaVine was up near that 40 mark, and then Edwards was also up around 36, I believe. So like a $10 discount just by doing it on auction. And you find that through going to this market tab, new card auctions, manager sales. New card auctions, honestly, after doing it, is just where it's at. You can get them at any time of the day. You just have to type in the filter here, whatever player that you're looking for, then it'll show you when they're popping up. I know when I was looking at Booker's, when I was looking at Paul George, those guys were coming up about once every hour. So let's type in, let's just use Booker again, for example. Type in Booker right here. 12 auctions coming up from him, one in 2 hours, one in 5 hours, one in 8 hours. So they got spread out between like a 3-hour cadence now. So this one's already up at 44. So somebody definitely wants Booker. I mean, he had a huge game this week, so that makes a little bit of sense. $42 is up there too. So I must have gotten some good deals earlier on in the week, but those prices will climb when it comes closer to this auction ending mark. One other thing too is that when it gets down to the final minute, it takes longer than a minute, because if somebody places a bid within the last minute, then the clock resets to 60 seconds. So it's like an anti-sniping tool type of thing. We're going to get in this limited competition. I'm going to look at my lineup, and then we'll call it a day for the episode, but let's go over to soraredata.com and take a look at some of my players and see who we should kind of speculate to get in that lineup. Another thing that I did when I came to speculating on lineups is just a quick little tip here. I went to my fantasy basketball leagues basically, and I looked at the waivers, right? Some of the top players in certain categories on waivers, guys that are hitting 3-pointers, guys that are getting rebounds, guys that are just playing a lot of minutes. I didn't necessarily pull the trigger on a lot of those guys, but I put those in a list of guys that I'd want to round out my lineup. Got a little list going. These are just more like core guys that I'm going to have in my lineup. These guys up here: Paul George, Booker, Levine, Ant, Poole. But, I actually probably am going to have to buy some other cards to get this lineup actually filled out. So I'm going to refer back to that list and guys that can get a lot of minutes and a lot of categories with upside potential on those low cap guys. This is soraredata.com. What you do is you go up to this SO5, what I like to do, game week center, and then make sure you toggle it over to basketball. And then projections is the tab that I like to go to right here. So projections, we're looking at game week 7 and toggle that on right there too. Game week 7 projections, make sure top right corner, see it right here. We'll see where my guys come in by looking at the projections here. I just hit this tab right here, best game projection. And this is for the game week, best projected game for the game week. All right, so I'm gonna look where my players are at. Let's see where Paul George is at. We'll see where there's Paul George. Best projected is at 43. Booker's got to be close. Booker's projected at 40. Hopefully goes over that. Edwards in there at 38. Levine in at 37. And those should be my big guys. So good to know. I bought those guys for a reason. So let's go ahead over and play. Go to upcoming and get in on this thing. Limited champion. Why not? That's going to be the move here because I have more of the expensive players up there. So remember, champion is where you can use an MVP. Paul George will be my MVP. He's the highest point cap. Then we go Booker. Let's go Levine. Let's go Poole. And let's see how many we have left. 22 points left. So I can even get rid of Poole. I could go Ant, and then I could go not Poole on that one. I miss out on Kennard on that one. That's a tough one. Throw Levine out, throw Poole in, then we go Kennard. I like that with 5 points left. Let's lock that in. I like the look of it. 2 guys on the Clippers. I'll be at that game on Saturday. It'll be fun to watch these guys go. Paul George, Luke Kennard, get me some points. And then, of course, my boy, Devin Booker, favorite player in the NBA. You got Jordan Poole and Ant Edwards, 2 young guys on there also. Lock it in. Best of luck if you're going after the limited champion, the limited contender, the common champions, common contenders. Also got some rares and super rares going this week. Uniques also. There was a massive sale on a Kevin Durant unique. I think it was like $59,000 sale. So that's just absolutely insane. Huge money. I listened to a really good Spaces from Thread Guy on Twitter, and it was all about Sorare NBA. Some Sorare people were on there, and it was a solid one. If I do find that, I think they recorded that Spaces, I'll repost it on Twitter. So check out the Twitter, and it's definitely something I recommend listening to. A lot of good strategy, a lot of good history about Sorare, the platform in general, the vision, everything that they got going on there. All right, there you have it. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. Check out my other socials with the links in the description down below. I'll be back next week for the next weekly episode on Sorare NBA. Can't wait to see you then.